loud and clear?
Loud and clear, sir.
Nice. I'm also sat here with Danny Boy. So
I'm here as well, Jaden from Discord.
Fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and get started here in a minute. Acti has the stream going. I'm going to start the Telegram recording. Do you have any questions for me before we hit the show on the road?
No, everything's all good. I think as long as you read through the sort of what I'm going to talk through today, I think we've got sort of a lot of good dialogue to go through. So yeah, excited to speak to your community, man. So thanks for having us. Thanks for having us along.
Certainly, my pleasure. Good afternoon, Whale Coin Talk community. My name is Noah, here today with the Horde ecosystem. Representing them is Tommy. Tommy, before we get started, give us a quick background of you, who you are, and how you found yourself working in the crypto industry today.
Okay, so hey everyone, I'm Tommy, one of the founders at Horde. First off, thanks a lot, guys, for having us along today. Been really excited to come along and talk to your community. I know there's a lot of big brains here today, so we're looking forward to some good questions towards the end. So yeah, how I got started with Horde. Well, I've been investing in the crypto industry since around sort of early 2017. Always been fascinated by blockchain, by crypto, I suppose the same as everyone here. And really it was just a natural journey of really going deep into that world, really learning as much as I can. And I was lucky enough to meet some amazing people along the way, get some great contacts, and I ended up in a position where actually I realized with the contacts that we had between a few of us, we actually could pull in enough big brains ourselves and make a real difference in the space that we was all involved in. I've spoke about it many times before about it's always been the Wild West for many years, and I think we're part of a journey to mature that space, right?
I would say it's also for me like the only place where I've actually talked with people on the internet. I've ended up with meeting and spending as much of my life as I do, because a project, an ecosystem as we run is really time consuming, and the people that you join a adventure like that with are people that you need to know before you start, and that's hard to know that you can be with them in the hard and the easy parts of the journey, because it's definitely going to be hard, at times also easier, but again mostly hard. And I think we really learned a lot about each other on this journey. And now I live next to Tommy, and Bud, one of the other founders, is also moving here to live next to us. So we are like setting up a real office, right, and taking it to the next step. And that's just an amazing journey, really.
Yeah, I'd like just to add as well. It's like we all come from sort of business backgrounds, and we've tried to bring them elements into it, and it's been really nice actually that we spend a lot of time, obviously not just online together, but in the physical realm as well. And I think that really helps us bond as a team, and it's helped us focus and deliver what we've done so far.
Right on. Well, on that note, gentlemen, give us a high-level overview. Give us an intro on the Horde ecosystem and all the different ways you guys are innovating the space.
Okay, it's quite a loaded question. We always get this question of like, just explain Horde in one sentence. It's like impossible, because what we've effectively done is we've used all of our experience, and we're sort of creating an ecosystem, a vision that really is a simple and fun to use place to be. It has many different sectors of all the different sort of categories you'll find in crypto. We always push innovation with whatever we're doing. We understand that we need to deliver as a project, and again, this comes from saying again what we said about our experience as investors in the space. We understand what we would like to expect as investors, so this is what we try to deliver, which isn't an easy task, but we've had much great feedback from our community. That is what we're doing. Go ahead.
Yeah, we started out with a simple reward protocol, if you could call it like that. and then we just made a minimal MVP, a minimal viable product, and then evolved it from there and took it in the, like, obviously we had a plan and a direction from the start, and we still have, and we follow it tightly, but we didn't make all the crazy add-ons before we had a product and saw what the community, what direction it was going, and what people wanted, and that is sort of our goal throughout everything we do, is make it as what minimum needs to be there, find out what you then can add to give it value, because it doesn't, if I just make 10 different things and hope that the community like it, it's something else than if I just make 3 things and I know that they like it. So that's really how we have done everything, and
trying to build it right.
Yeah, exactly. From the ground up.
Yeah, from the ground up. That's really part of a vision. Let's give you more of an overview of what we're doing, what we're about. And
Sure.
I suppose with that, I could say, like, we're a rewards protocol that gives our users a really fresh take on what, the term passive income means. We offer 1% daily rewards funded through multiple revenue streams. This includes obviously plot creations, stone creations, and rune creations, which we'll go a bit more into that in a moment. NFT sales, LMS fees. Again, liquidity management service is something that we'll discuss a little bit more in detail in a short while. Trading bot profits, treasury investments. We earn fees through staking. There's more to come. In fact, we're just about to reveal a new revenue stream. We've actually put a little teaser out on Twitter, and yeah, so keep posted on that, about what we're gonna reveal in the next coming weeks, and more to come, including we've got a play to earn game, the Horde Wasteland defense game coming early Q4, and again, this is going to be another element where people will use their tokens to gain, in order to gain in-game currency, etc. But again, more details will come with that. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
A DEX and a launchpad. That's the
future plans.
Yeah, it's something that we actually recently announced, because we didn't want to announce it before it was close to being done, because that's how we have done with everything. We don't, we don't oversell. We rather undersell and over deliver, because that's how you keep a happy community. But we have announced now that we are going to make both a DEX and a launchpad, and with our software as a service part and evolving of that with more like software to come. I think it's obvious that the launchpad idea what we need to do to make it fully decentralized. So yeah, that's definitely also the direction of the future.
Yeah, so quite a lot going on, as you can hear.
Certainly, and gentlemen, you all are focused on transparency, equality, long-term sustainability. This is among many things I read in your white paper. I'm curious to know what areas, and before we get into each individual nut and bolt, what areas of the DeFi as a service sector did you personally feel were being ignored?
I suppose for me, on a personal level, was just where so many people took advantage of. And whether that be intentionally or whether that be people not being delivered the right information and the right numbers to make their own proper judgment on whether they should invest or not,
or get killed by their own success because they didn't expect to have the growth they had, or really
not having scalability. I mean, the bad actors that we've seen, in the actual space as well, just the way projects are run, the way that communities are run. We really just wanted to see,
among many things, like crazy allocations for the teams that automatically like drain it, early investors, there's so many different things that it's hard to put in 30 seconds and remember all of it.
Yeah, for those that don't know, we actually didn't. It's one of the things that got us a lot of I suppose you could call it respect at the start of the project, where we didn't receive any team allocation. And we saw this downfall in other projects. Actually, the team members are rewarded far too much with a small amount of success at the start. And we actually wanted to create a system that was also, in our perspective, it was like something that we get rewarded for delivering the right protocol and delivering the success of it. That was definitely something that took a lot of people by shock at the start of the at the launch.
Yeah, people don't expect it.
And no whitelist either. We had no whitelist. It was a completely fair link. I'm also gonna let Bot Marino talk. The guy that created our amazing dApp. So go ahead, bro.
Yeah. One of the things that we have been considering at Horde that I think it's something that lack from other project is the fact that when we build something or we think about a new feature or anything that we want to build, the main thing that we focus on is how can we create that feature or project in a way to be an incentive for us to keep working on it on the long term. Because one thing that I saw happening, I'm not telling that all projects are doing this, but like a couple of projects I've done is when they have team allocation or stuff like that, the price rocket at when they start working on, but then they take their profit because it's normal. Like a team need to be paid on when they work on something. But then it creates a panic sell and like the price go down, and those teams don't have any incentive to keep working on it. So they are to be able to get the price back on rails, they need to put way more effort because they are working against their own success. And this is something that we have think differently at Horde.
So, gentlemen, one thing that stood out to me, and on that note, was ever since you've launched, your token price has maintained, and I could be off by a couple dollars here, a price floor of $99. The only other project that I'm aware of that has this sort of kind of floor defense mechanism is Temple DAO. So I'm curious to know how you guys have maintained this price floor and how you guys have sustained a price range that we see on the CoinGecko chart ever since you've launched the token back in April, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I can talk a little about how the liquidity manager work, and then Tommy can
In March, actually.
Yeah, March 22.
22nd of March.
Yeah.
160 days today.
Yeah.
160 days of stable price action during one of the most bearish periods that we've all saw, I think.
It is crazy to say out loud. Even like even though we work on it every day, it's amazing. But I will talk about how it works, and then Tommy can talk about how we sell the service and make it to a revenue stream to feed it. The liquidity manager is a mechanism that we put into place that we feed with liquidity from the protocol. We have taken places in the protocol, in the tokenomic, where we can feed liquidity back to it, and that is in form of BUSD. And then it basically just do a counter swap on every transaction when needed, but it does it through an algorithm that calculates exactly what is needed to keep it steady and not have it any swing. You know, it's not a buyback, but a lot of people think it as a buyback, and you could think it as that, but it's just I don't know.
What is
100 times more advanced? I will explain that now. What it does is that when you go and let's say the price is 100 and you're selling for $10,000 reward, it goes through our DEX, mini DEX, and then the liquidity manager looks at what the liquidity pair is now and what it's going to be after you have traded, and then it put in a trade in the same transaction. So it's done in the transaction, on-chain, proactive. It takes it before anything can happen. It's not able to front run. It's not able to in any way come in between these two transactions, which means that we can 100% guarantee the stability of the price as long as we obviously have liquidity in the liquidity manager. And we started with having 600,000 in it, and currently we have 1.8 million. Had an all-time high last week, but we have them. It grows. If you go zoom out, it grows.
Is the liquidity
in the
liquidity manager, is that coming from tokenomics taxes?
Yes, exactly. And we don't have fees or anything like that. We do have a 10% sell tax. And the reason we have that is so that people can't swing trade on our, because we go from range 99 to 112. So if we didn't have the swing trade, the tax, swing trading would be possible, and we're not interested in that. But that's the only fee we have.
Yeah,
Sure. And so
we really sort of set up. Go ahead, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh yeah, we just set up so that a lot of the stuff is really simple to understand. One of the things that we felt in other protocols that can get very confusing is the amount of different kinds of taxes, different kinds of fees and hidden fees and this and that you don't realize until you've already paid it. So we wanted to make stuff really simple. 10% sell tax, and this is here because of the swing trading. To prevent the swing trading, we have a 10% transfer tax. This was really only to stop or dissuade people trying to send multiple tokens over to other wallets, because then it affects them more. We want a limited amount of 100 plots per wallet.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So we really just try and make rewards as well simple. 1% per day. And what we did actually is we create you create effectively a plot. Think of a digital plot of land. This is going to cost you around about 10 tokens, which around about $100 per token price. It's around about $1,000 for a plot. Or we have stones for around about $500, 5 tokens, or runes for around about 1 token. We also have staking as well. So there's a lot of different ways that people can earn different interest on different aspects of what we're doing. And then once people make a plot, it will reward users 1% per day, paid in the native Horde token. After 300 days, it decays, or at least that's a plot. If you got a stone, it will decay after 250 days, or a rune, which is the lower level at $100, will decay after 200 days. So you get different decaying dates, which is where we like to say the zombies overrun the plot and it stops paying out. It's not a lifetime thing, okay? It's just to give a set amount of sustainable rewards that we can cover with the multiple income streams and everything that we're building into the protocol.
So plots, stones, and runes all serve the same function, but they do at different degrees, and they each have an expiration date. When you say decay, it goes from the ROI goes from 1% daily to 0, correct? It's not a decaying over time.
Yeah.
It is a rough decay.
Yeah, so as soon as the 300 days would be hit on a plot, the rewards would stop. So, and if people want to carry on earning rewards, that want to still carry on participating, they have to reinvest into it, That decaying mechanism is one of the special features that we started on our real MVP of where we went from. And then having the liquidity manager in place was something that's never been seen before. How we've done it, I mean, we know this because we built it from scratch. And in fact, it was such a success. We always said before we sort of released it into the market, was like, there'll be a lot of Horde forks doing this. But we were waiting. But the difference is, because we have closed source code on the liquidity manager contract, there was people trying different ways, but you know, we've got our own way of doing this. So we offered this now, offer it to other projects to have their own liquidity manager. So they come along, we make a deal, we build them a custom liquidity manager. People might not know, but we're on Binance Smart Chain because we want to utilize the BUSD, because we feel it's one of the safest stable coins out there. But we also can build liquidity managers on multiple chains, on ETH, on AVAX, on Phantom, you know, on any EVM chain, really. It's like also something that you can pair with not just a stable coin. You could pair it with a range in ETH or a range in Phantom, etc. So the ways that people are using it is really interesting. And as we're seeing more projects come on board, they're bringing their big ideas and it's helping us push innovation. And it's been really exciting to see the liquidity manager service really go underway. And, you know, it's just a start of what we've got to come. And that's just one of many branches, really, what's involved in the Horde ecosystem.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. Despite you explaining it a number of times, I still don't really understand how the liquidity manager works on the back end from a fundamental level. What I do understand though is that it's kept your token price stable through the crazy bear market cycle of the June crash and the crazy swings. I mean, that to me is it's a huge green flag. Again, nothing is financial advice on here, audience members. I'm just observing as an individual, and it seems to me that utilizing either a plot, stone, or rune, and let's say I could, you know, I buy 100 plots on a wallet, which is the max amount according to your white paper. It seems to me that I can get a nice 300% ROI on my income. And I don't know if, you know, I don't know what the future holds or whether your token is going to be able to sustain this floor, but it does seem to me like if I had, when did you guys release these plots? When did the plot, stone, and rune functionality, when was it made available to users?
So the actual first plot creation was on our launch day. First off, we had our pre-sale on the 21st of March. And we had a very successful pre-sale of 750k in 28 minutes. That was broken down like this, and this will help you understand a bit more about how a liquidity manager would function. The 750k from the pre-sale, 40k of that went towards a big Certic audit we had. 110k of that went into our liquidity pair in PancakeSwap. And then 600k of that went into a liquidity manager. So then what a liquidity manager is there for? It's there to make sure that a predetermined range or value in a token's value is held. And it doesn't do it. I think one thing that people always try to do, especially in crypto, is we always try to compare it with stuff we've seen before. But this was what was special about the liquidity manager, is that it's never been done before. And that's why our extremely experienced dev that's had many years in the TradeFi world, which has really given him the skills to be able to scale this out to a degree that, you know, is beyond certainly my intelligence anyway. It's really helped us to bring something new to the space. And I think because we've been able to maintain this peg in a completely new, different kind of way, in a different kind of way that we're holding a range as well, and then seeing different projects coming to use it. I mean, Golden Society was the first project that we launched, nearly 70 days ago now. So again, since they came along, they were actually already a launch project, and then they came along. We then implemented a liquidity manager into their protocol, and since then they've had the predetermined range. So what it does, it allows projects to store liquidity in a completely different way, and it allows the removal of emotions from the market. And what that does, especially at the Horde community, it allows us to be a nice chilled place. Everyone's sort of like, you know, remove the emotions from the markets unless they've got, you know, big other bags or whatever. But it's like everyone always calls us like the safe haven of Discord. And it's just been funny to see that play out, and especially when you consider the kind of things we've had happen in the last 160 days. You know, in the space itself. I mean, Bitcoin was what, 47.5, I think, at one point since we've been launched, and then we're now like looking at what, just over 20 is the last time I looked. So I mean, all of that stuff has happened. Lunar crash, flash loan attacks. But let's give you a bit more of a clear explanation on the sort of how it would work. If you could you explain it a little bit further?
Yeah, I just want to know, is that a easy have answered your question, or you have still something that you want to be more precise?
No, it certainly clears it up a bit more. I guess I'm very I like to understand how things work from a nuts and bolts perspective, and I understand this is a different way, a new way of managing liquidity that hasn't been done before, and it seems like other projects are reaching out and trying to use your proprietary code or whatever it is. And I still would love to hear on a more technical level, like what is happening with this liquidity manager that is preventing the price from going below a certain number. I know that with Temple DAO, they have a like a price defender, but I know that it's on a fundamental level just buybacks. It's buybacks and burns. I'm not, and I could be mistaken, but that's what I was made to understand by talking to them in their Discord.
No, but as I said, it basically have Horde and BUSD, and then it adds or remove, but it does it counteractive on chain in every single transaction, and that is why it can, be manipulated by anyone, no matter what you throw at it. It would always come out with the right answer in the other end. As long as it have both BUSD and Horde, it would always be able to maintain the peg. And it's the magic is the algorithm. The magic is not essentially not what it does. It's the algorithm that's made to do it, because that's where all the testing and all the work have been put to ensure that you cannot fuck this up. Because I think, without saying any project, I think you have seen how buyback bots typically works, and how it's not usually a good thing. So this is just how I said also in the beginning, that we and Tommy also emphasized it. We see a problem, and then we try to find a solution for this problem, and that was kind of what we did with this. And then obviously Hans, our lead dev, and his minions have created this masterpiece, and it works really well. And we appreciate it every day. Everyone in the community do, because it's a nice way of ensuring that you're actually getting your reward. It's also a nice way when you stake that you actually remove the possibility for impermanent loss, in the fact that you can go and see the liquidity manager, see that it's still funded, so you know that you have your nice staking reward without being afraid of impermanent loss, which is, I think, actually Tommy will talk about that a little later. But yeah, anyway, I hope that clears it up. If you want a more in-depth answer, I can try to get Hansa to give it to you, but it is.
No, I think it's pretty clear, to be honest. Yeah, you guys did a great job of explaining it.
Okay.
And I don't want to spend too much more time on this, but one more question. Does that also mean the price can't skyrocket too high either? It stays within a range, right?
Exactly.
Got it.
That's how we've built it for us. So what one thing to emphasize is that liquidity manager that we use, the original Horde liquidity manager, let's call it, we use it how we think is good for our protocol, what we feel is best for our tokenomics, for our vision, for what we want to build. Remembering that this is just all part of getting to our end vision. And when we end up to a point where, imagine we've got our own DEX and we've got this LMS feature built in. I mean, there's going to be new ways that we're thinking of how we're going to innovate that and be able to use that. But it's really just a case of this has never been done before like we've done it, and it is hard to understand. But I think as time goes on, we've saw more use cases for how it can be used, and our model has a bottom range and a top range. But let's give you an example. You could have a project come along that could just have a bottom range and still have, if you launch in a bull market and everything's all like, there's a lot of hype, there's a lot of money being thrown around, you can just let the price go, and you can have the LMS as an almost cushion, as a parachute for when, let's give you an example, liquidity went to X amount, it could kick in, like it could stuff like this. So I think as time goes on and people use their sort of creativity in what can be done in crypto and what can be done with blockchain, and then they use liquidity managers in different ways, it's really going to define where we're going in the space. And I think I've said it before in a few different AMAs that I feel like the whole space, especially the DeFi space, is maturing. And this is just one of the many tools and many mechanisms that's going to come out of this new wave of projects that we're going to see,
Are there any risks or downsides to just keeping a bottom and leaving the top range open?
I mean, obviously, because that wouldn't remove, from our perspective, for us, it's like it wouldn't remove one of the things that we love is the emotions from the markets.
But also that everyone pays the same at entrance.
And everyone, yeah, exactly. So everyone made a plot on day one, unless you was one of the very few people which, actually anyone that bought the token under the $100, they actually ended up selling it anyway. So there was no one draining the system, which was great. And most people have actually paid the full price. We only sold 1,500 pre-sale plots, which were $500. So everyone that supported us from early got really happy with that. Other than that, pretty much everyone was bought in at the same rate, and they were getting 1%. So it's all. This is what I mean with regards to trying to work it so it's simple to understand and it's easy for everyone to see. Like, we didn't want to create something that's super difficult,
As far as the plot, stones, and runes are concerned, do stakers, I guess for lack of a better term, have the option of taking profits before the lifespan expires?
So yeah, of course. So every day, you receive your. In fact, it's every 6 hours, right? Every 6 hours you receive an update on reward, so you can claim and do whatever you like with them. You can also buy NFTs. We have NFT scenes. So imagine like a movie scene, which is like a plot on your plot. Okay, so you'd have a basic plot, which is like, imagine a little 3D bit of land with a Horde sign. Like, that's a basic plot that you get on the DApp. And then you can buy an NFT scene. You can buy at the moment, you can buy church squares, which are sold out, but we're going to release a small batch real soon as well. Search and rescue and Wasteland cabin. And they're all different types of prices of Horde tokens, 7.5, 5.5, and 3. And these give you a small boost, but what these also do, the first 1,000, which we've just finished this, actually give you a whitelist into an upcoming NFT, which is going to be really exciting. I'm trying not to say anything here. But they're also going to give you different aspects of the game. They're going to allow you to participate in different elements of a play to earn, different levels and stuff like this. So what we tried to do was everything that we've built within the system, it isn't just like a gimmick. Like, they're all glued to each other some way. They're all connected. And if you're buying something like an NFT for your plot, it's also going to give you other benefits elsewhere as well, if that makes sense. And this is something definitely we wanted to.
Yeah, no, and I know that you seem like you can't reveal too much, but to the extent which you can share with us, tell us more about the play to earn game, what gamers can expect from that, what genre it's going to be. Give us some more insight, and also give us some more details on the NFTs if you can. So how they provide utility within the play to earn game, and whether they offer any utilities outside of the play to earn game with respect to the rest of the ecosystem.
Yeah. So with regards to how it's going to be connected and help you into the play to earn game, I'm not going to reveal them details today. However, I have got a bit of alpha for you guys today. I squeezed out a bit of a team. I was like, look, come on, man. This is whale coin talk. We've got to bring something. So actually we're going to do a giveaway towards the end, and we're going to leak a little bit of something there for you guys anyway. So we will release something, but details and exactly how it all glues together, this is something that will be talked about more. But let's talk about the game to give you an overview there. I know there's a few gaming fans there. I'm a gamer. I grew up in games and everything. Play to earn games really just fascinate me on where that sort of vision goes and what can happen. And where it really plays a part in the Horde ecosystem is, for me, two different aspects that I personally feel most passionate about with why we've got the play to earn. The first one is to really keep a real engaged community, have something fun there that isn't just, just numbers and just, we all love numbers. This is why we're all here, right? But just to have this real fun sort of aspect to what the community can get involved with. We're going to have different competitions and stuff coming up like this, but again, this is all part of the game, and this is going to be revealed later.
But I think one thing is very important here, that the game is not, and this may sound a little harsh for our community, but the game is not meant for the community in the business sense. This game is meant to be a bestseller. This game is meant to make a revenue, and we are surely not gonna make a profitable game if we are only going to seek the comfort in our community. So the point of this game is to make a legit revenue, and that is why we are building it, so that it's going to be a very fun game. It's not going to be what is the newest engine for game development. I don't even know, but it's going to be, easy graphic, but a very nice gameplay and a funny, engaging gameplay.
Yeah,
and addictive.
Yeah,
as
for sure.
addictive as we
Most important part.
possibly can make it.
And like,
Yeah. Microtransactions is what it's all about. That's no secret. That's what all games are about. So that's obviously what we're going for here, to make a legit revenue to the game. To the ecosystem.
yeah, and exactly what Dan said was that. Pardon me. This was my second point. Was that we're creating a proper game, a proper revenue stream, but this is also going to bring in whole different types of crowds to the ecosystem. And what we're wanting to do is we're creating a whole ecosystem where you haven't got to participate in it all. It's your choice. If you just want to do staking, if you just want to do plots or runes or stones, if you just wanted to do a play to earn. But what we're doing is we're just giving everyone the option on a sort of one place to go.
A rock-free zone.
Yeah.
We everything we do, we stand in for, and we feel like we want to push everything we can push to our ecosystem to deliver what like our standard. So everything we put our name on and everything we make in-house is to as secure as it can be in crypto, to say. Yeah.
To the same quality as well. We always want to deliver top quality. I didn't really answer your question of what the game looks like as well. So let me just give you a rough overview of Horde Wasteland Defense and the sort of gameplay and what's it going to look like. Okay. So you'll be defending your plot against waves of zombies and other creatures, which a few of them are starting to be leaked through and stuff. So you'll see a few leaks on previous AMAs we've did in our Discord, etc., like this. But you'll be able to upgrade your arsenal of weapons, of troops, of different traps. You'd be playing in the Wasteland, spanning across 4 different factions. Now, for a long while, we had this thing going in our Discord, which you had to choose a faction, and no one ever knew what it was. And all this is starting to come out now, like the big grandmaster plan of how it links into the game. You're gonna have different characters. You're gonna have different play to earn rewards, which is going to go towards leader positions and boasting rights to your friends, and you'll be able to get skins and all kinds of things going in there. There's going to be a player versus player mode, which people were really excited to hear about. You're going to be able to play against friends, online nemesis. This is where the sort of competition side of things come into it. You're going to be able to play with Horde heroes. In fact, you're going to see one today. You're going to see some really cool concept art today. So stay around, and we'll post this in the Telegram really soon. Really, it's just going to be a really cool game where you're going to have different attachments, through earning and through using tokens and all different kinds of details, what will come. And it's going to be a really fun, addictive place. And it's really just going to, hopefully for me, it's going to be the one where it's going to bring in a whole different crowd that approach crypto in a different way. And that's, I suppose, my big vision for it.
Gentlemen, you introduced your fractional plots on June 13th.
Yes.
How do these work? And
sounds about right, yeah.
How do these work, and how are they different from the plots we discussed earlier?
So, it's really quite simple. Again, stick to basics with it. That's what we always try to do. The reason why we introduced them was when we first launched, we had to find a happy medium, which we found was around about $1,000 for a plot. That was sort of at a stage where you could have different reward systems where it would cost thousands to enter,
and there would be 2 trillion more in the crypto market than there is now. So definitely a different time.
But we always talked about equality, and we always felt it was unfair just to have that sort of entry range. And we always wanted to introduce our fractional plots, at a lower range, lower entry point. So then it came to a point where we was happy with progress, that we grew enough that we wanted now to offer it to everyone and just open up the doors. So a rune would only cost $100, which is 1 token. A stone would cost 5 tokens, which is around $500. The difference being is that they both give 1%, the same as a plot. But a stone for 5 tokens will only give you 250 days until it decays. And then a rune will give you 100 days 200 days before it decays. So there's also a limit on that, because we didn't want to make it really a problem for people with, let's say, a lot of plots to take advantage of that. So we put a limit of 2 stones and 10 runes, which equates to about 2 plots, so that it just gives people with lower entry levels an easier way to compound to get to a level where they would be happy with, right?
I really like that. Quick question on the plots. Let's say, and I'm not sure if you guys have tested this prior to launching, but after 300 days, and I'm not sure how many days it's been since the first Souls plots were
160 today is since the first plot was created, 160. So in 140 days. Okay. Yeah.
Yep. So I'm almost over halfway there to the first plots decaying. What's gonna happen when do you think your LMS is built in a way that's going to be able to sustain a massive dump? I'm speculating here, pure speculation, but all these people
I think you misunderstand. I think you misunderstand. There wouldn't be a dump, because that is actually the day that we have. It will be over 2,000 plots stop paying out. So what that does, it just massively reduces any payout of rewards. So we're going to be paying out the very first day, like in 140 days now, we would pay a lot less rewards out each day, and then from then on, hundreds of plots every day will decay. So it means that like we're paying less and less out in that sense. Let's not forget that the runes and the stones have less days, so actually they're the first ones. It will actually be the runes what first start decaying. I forget the exact amount of that, but that's less. I suppose the main thing that's on everyone's mind is the plots, because they're the main, the main attraction, I suppose. And in 140 days, we're not going to be paying out 2,000 plots, which is quite incredible.
And in regards to you ask about a massive dump, I would just say that we have already paid out over 14 million BUSD. So that's a lot of money already taking offhand to the investors, and they have gotten it at the same rate, everybody, because again the stable price. So yeah.
And again, pure speculation on my end, right? That there are obviously so many different utilities that your token provides with respect to their overall ecosystem. I'm just painting up a kind of a black swan scenario where, for whatever reason, people are trying to take profits all at once, and curious to know if the LMS has been battle tested for something like that. But you brought up an interesting point there, Tommy. You said, hey, actually the runes are going to be expiring. They're going to be expiring in 40 days. And so
let me find out exactly whilst you're asking. Sorry.
Yeah, because they launched a little later than this.
Okay, my mistake. But either way, I mean, it's not all that important. What I was just trying to understand is how the system is set up for all these unlock. But people can go up and for me, for example, I can go and start up a new soul plot today if I want, correct? And earn that 300% ROI over 300 days.
Yeah.
There is no, and sorry, you mentioned, you mentioned that BUS. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's quite simple. We're on Binance Smart Chain. We use BUSD, so people come along to our DApp. They use the soul swap part of our DApp, where you just swap. It would be 10 Horde tokens to make one plot.
Yeah.
And there's no buy tax or nothing like that. We don't play any event games. Obviously, really low fees. And then once you've bought the 10 Horde tokens, you can then create a plot. Or obviously, 5 Horde tokens for a stone or 1 Horde token for a rune. Or you can just do half and half and enter it into the staking.
Got it. Where is the BUSD being paid out? Because I thought that the plots were getting paid out in Horde tokens.
Oh, they are, but it's because that we are paired with BUSD. So when people sell, they get BUSD. So that's why I say it's 14 million in BUSD, because we only have a BUSD pair. So when you trade it, it's for that.
Got it.
But there is a thing I want to touch in regards of this that we have forgot to mention. That is, I just want to go into a little bit of the psychology, and that is when you come in and you know that the price goes up a little, and you know the way that it moves. It makes you want to buy low and makes you want to sell a little higher, because then you avoid a little of the 10% sell tax. But that also makes that you trade on the liquidity pair and not on the liquidity manager. And this is how we maintain the liquidity manager healthy. Obviously, it takes hits, 100k or 200k or whatever, and when a big hit to the market comes, because people are then pulling out some rewards to cover. We see it every time, but it's meant to do that. And in all the other cases, in the day-to-day use, it's mainly trading on the liquidity pair instead of the liquidity manager. But we continue to add to the liquidity manager on those days, so that means that it have a lot of growth potential. And it's not meant to be at a constant 1.8 million. It's the reward money. It's the payout money. So we know, and everyone knows, that sometimes it goes down, sometimes it goes up, but mainly it's there to secure that you get the same reward as everyone else at any day of the week.
It's worth mentioning we also took out 300k and put it into a liquidity manager from the
To the liquidity
to the liquidity pair. And we actually took that out from the liquidity manager to put it in there as well. So yeah, it's actually grown from 600k from launch up to effectively it went up to, if you add that in, it would be 2.2 million. But then we've got the treasury, then we've got the liquidity pair, and then we've got obviously the income streams that we create. So yeah, and then the trading bot. Yeah, I mentioned all these things. It's quite exciting actually to sort of, when we lay it all out like this. And
how many times have we injected 100k from revenue?
Yeah, multiple times.
I think three times now have we injected 100,000 BUSD from different revenue streams,
from LMS fees, from trading bot fees, and that's just like we say, this is just the start of where the vision sort of starts to play out, starts to come together, you know.
Well, it's a strong start so far, and I'm not even taking your word for it, although we could. But the proof is in the chart. The proof is in the pudding. The LMS wallet, the Treasury. I want to get the Treasury in a moment here, but these wallets are they multi-sig? Who controls them?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Only KYC founder members. I'm one of them. And there's four of us on the multi-sig, needs 3 signatures. And yeah, we just do everything as safely and securely as possible. We only use, you know, the best services we find with Certic, with Assure, and we just like to add as many security measures in for people as much as possible, because again, using our sort of experience as investors and knowing what we expect. I mean, it's strange because you should never expect anything, right, from anyone. This is like a sort of saying what I always go through, but we do, as investors, we expect a certain amount from teams. And if teams don't deliver that, then it's disappointing. So this is what we sort of set out, that sort of mindset from day one, to deliver what we wanted to see in the space. And for me, like, with the great feedback, with, like, you know, the great community that we've got, we've always got such, like, you know, humbling comments always made to us. But at the end of the day, it doesn't. It just gives us more energy to drive on, to really push on forward, to finish our vision, you know, and get to where we want to be. And there's a lot to come, you know, a shed load to come. And really, it's just been amazing to be part of the journey. And we haven't really we keep saying this, we haven't had a moment to sort of step back and think about it, but that's just because we're so dedicated, we're all hard working at this every day, and our community will vouch for us there. We're always there answering as many questions as we can. We welcome, you know, everyone coming along and asking us questions. We deliver as much information, data as possible. We you know, put on as many AMAs as we can, all on, you know, different channels, different social medias. We have some great support out there, and real organic support as well. And that's what, for me, is the most humbling thing, is like seeing actually that we're actually delivering what we set out to deliver, and knowing how much more we've got to come. Yeah, that's really what, for me, it just gets me really riled up, really.
Yeah, well, we can hear it in your voice, Tommy.
I'm also.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, just saying, like, we've also got, like, all the things coming. We've got more LMS projects to be revealed real soon. I mentioned that we've been teasing about a new revenue stream that we've got dropping. This is something that I know is going to go down a real treat in our community. Lots of people are going to love it, and I think it's going to attract a lot more people from different sort of sectors of the crypto space. Let's leave it there before I leak too much.
Mm-hmm.
We've also announced building our own decks.
So Tommy, really quick, like I hate to interrupt you. There are a few more thoughts I wanted to wrap up before we move on. Yeah, so a couple things you guys mentioned: the BUSD Horde liquidity pair. what are the APYs or the reward rates for those that want to be liquidity providers?
So in the staking, again, it's all through our DApp, nice and simple. And there's no fees. We just have the you have around about 5% slippage on the actual transaction. You can do 50-50 like BUSD and Horde, and up to the last time I checked, it was up to nearly 17% APR. And as Dan already mentioned, this is you're not at risk of impermanent loss because of both being a stable value. So that's just something, it's not like new in the space, but it's just something that we like as part of it as well. And it just, again, gives people a different aspect on how to, earn off of our protocol, off of our platform, that don't necessarily want to get involved in plots, etc., or stones or runes, don't necessarily want to just get involved in the game. They just want to come along and do some staking. That's cool. We're welcome as well. And like I say, I suppose our job is to keep delivering all these different categories that we're trying to cover in the ecosystem, and we make it easy to use, we make it fun to use, and we want people to use them. So that's our job, to make people want to use it.
The Treasury, I wanted to talk about that really quick.
Yeah.
How are you utilizing your Treasury exactly? What sort of investments are you guys making? What sort of yield farming opportunities are you taking advantage of across what chains? We don't need to get into all of it, but I'm curious to know if there's a way for users and members of the ecosystem to go and see exactly how the Treasury is being deployed and taken advantage of.
Yeah, we have a treasury update in the Discord, and there is updates on everything in the treasury there, and links to the different wallets and stuff. But it's mostly blue chips, and then we have some BUSD, and sometimes when we see a potential opportunity, and like ask the community if that's something we want to go into, but it is like 95% blue chip, and it's meant as a liquidity buffer. It's not meant as a treasury that should be working yield in that sentence. It is, though, a lot of it brought cheap here in the dare I say bear market. I think that's what it is.
The most successful thing, though, for my treasury is definitely the trading bot.
Yeah.
So we have access to a very special trading bot that is under NDA. And this trading bot delivers us really up to sort of 20% a month, which has been
done that consistently since we put it in,
which is 3 months now. And this has been an incredible tool to use as part of our treasury. That's been helping feed into the liquidity manager as well. So it's really exciting to see a treasury being built during the bear market, because wherever we are, I don't like to say if we're going up or down on Bitcoin, who knows, right? But I do know one thing, is that we're going to be DCA all the way through it. And when things turn around, what we're, I suppose, like looking towards for that aspect is, imagine what the treasury is going to do then going into a full-blown bull market, right? And we're planning to be here. We're not like overnight success. I think we're starting to prove that to people now, and what we're building and what we're able to implement, and the bigger visions coming clear for people. So it's like, imagine what you could build if you're building a big treasury throughout that whole bear market, and then everything turns around. Imagine what could happen. Who knows in this space, right?
Right. And again, before we move on from the treasury, thank you guys for the transparency and breaking that down. The treasury wallet is available for everyone to see. You guys share that address with your community.
Yeah, but as it's on different chains and it's in multi-sigs, it's not the same address on the different chains. It's different addresses, because noses sadly don't allow you to have like the same address on all your multi-sigs. So that's it's.
But as you explained,
we don't
all in the Discord.
but we don't have we. What?
Are each of those addresses made public?
Yeah, so the
yeah.
multi-sig's all public and everything. So again, like we do try to be transparent, like, and everything. If anyone comes along to the Discord, they'll see the amount of information there is, and then if you just come along to even just a general chat the Wasteland and ask a question, multiple community members will come up and help you, point you in the right direction, and we just have everything there. It blows my mind, really, the amount of data and information we have there. And it comes back from a point earlier I mentioned about that when we sort of looked at what we would want from a project, I would have loved to find a project that delivers as much data and stuff that we do for people to look at.
We have some community members that have made both a Dune and a Google Sheet that tracks everything that happens, but with all the contracts in the protocol, and it's really nice for those who like data to be able to see it in both visual and in numbers. So for those who wants to do that, it's all public, and like we have helped with all the data we could provide for them to make it as accurate as possible. So shout out to those in the community, Chunky Monkey and Sam, for making these amazing tools for investors to look at.
Yeah, we've got some amazing community members come through and really helped us establish ourselves
as a community,
as a real community. There's a real organic community. Super proud of everyone. We've got 25,000 on Twitter now. We've got 15,000 I really don't know how many in Discord now.
But it is very funny to I have seen these diehard Discord members
13.5k
in other Discords, and I'm very proud to have some of them in ours now. Now it's our diehard community members, and it's just a very strong place. Like, people are very fast to always, answer any critical question, because we really don't want anyone to get misinformed.
Gentlemen, we spoke extensively about the LMS and what it is and how it can benefit a successful project when integrated correctly. How many projects have approached you guys to utilize the LMS? And also, do you charge an upfront cost? Is it a cost in perpetuity? How does that work?
Yeah, so every project's different. This is what we realized, is that everyone's at different levels of liquidity. Everyone's at different stages of development. So all we say to anyone that's looking to implement a liquidity manager in their protocol is quite simple. Come along to our Discord, reach out to us, and we can set up a call. We have everything organized. Like, we have a Calendly set up for people to come along, and we have like wide open, like from 6-7 in the morning all the way through till 12 at night, because we're available to anyone that wants to come and speak to us about this and understand exactly how it can work in their project. Because here's the thing, it is very complicated, and every liquidity manager we build is completely custom. So not only we have to be happy with it, but the project that we're building it for have to be happy with it. And this comes down to the testing stages, and all of this all takes different amounts of time. If they're looking for a model that is similar to one we've built before, it's going to be easier compared to one if someone comes along and says, oh, hey, we want like multiple liquidity managers set up like this. That's going to take a little bit more longer. But it's really just a case of the main goal of why we're doing LMS is that, number one, we want to expand our ecosystem across other chains, across different methods, different models, proving our concept, but also to carry on feeding our liquidity manager, make it another viable income stream. And then that also in turn helps us push to bigger communities, to different kinds of communities, different sectors in crypto. Helps us drive innovation as well, because we've already had projects coming along and give us ideas on how they can use it. And then it's helped us think about how we can use it and how we can make different updates and use it differently. So it's really interesting to see it sort of all playing out like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and it's just been exciting. I mean, today alone as well, we announced Chainlink integration into their keepers contract. So this is just really a big step towards everything for us. Do you want to take it away, bro?
Yeah, it's.
I was gonna say, tell
we
us
use the
about-
keybers to collect our.
Sorry, go ahead. I think, and
Yeah,
by the way, I think
yeah,
there's
we
a bit
use
of a
it to
delay
collect
between
our-
my mic and your mic, and so that's why we keep getting caught up.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
my
I think
apologies
so.
for that,
Yeah,
guys.
I know. That's okay. That's okay. Our apologies as well, bro. Let's go ahead, man.
The keeper is basically a step for us to be. We really want to be fully decentralized, but when you integrate things into other protocols, there are some manual labor, if you will. We have to collect the fees ourselves, and obviously that's also a security threat in the eyes of decentralization, because a human have to do it. So what the keepers help us do is make it decentralized, make it automatically, so that we collect all these fees from the different LMS users projects automatically. And the plan is obviously that it needs to be self-feeding into the liquidity manager. So this is just a real step towards that, and it's already integrated and running now. It's just first today that we can announce it, but it is fully running on the LMS users.
I love it,
So
guys.
that was a nice little announcement for today.
Chainlink announcement, huge. I mean, you guys have had some amazing milestone achievements: 20 million plus TVL, 14 million plus rewards paid out, and we talked about how many days of stable price action it's been all the way since March. So, a big round of applause for all that, gentlemen. Give us some insight into future plans, and also tell us more about the Alpha Leak giveaway.
Yeah, so I suppose future plans, we've got a lot of them. So let's just talk about the next big step. After today, the Chainlink integration is something that I've definitely wanted to get out for ages. And I have been so happy to get this weight off my shoulders now and be able to talk about it, because it's actually went on for a little while. And if anyone in our community or any other communities were digging, they could find that we've been using the Chainlink keepers for a little while, but no one found it. So it was just to get that off our chest and release that information. And yeah, people can find that on our Twitter and read a Medium article about that. The next big step for me is this secret sort of thing we've got to come. Try not to leak anything that I shouldn't. Dan's looking at me like don't ever. So it's there's something coming that's a new revenue stream, and this is going to be really exciting. I know this is gonna really give people a different perspective on how certain things can be used in the crypto space. So for me, the next big plan is that. Obviously, in the long-term plan, I'm also super excited just to see our play-to-earn game. And in the play-to-earn game, the Horde Wasteland defense, I mentioned before that we have different characters. So actually, this is what I want to leak to everyone today. Is I want to leak some really cool concept art of one of our characters, the Spreader. He's from the Nuclear Order, one of our factions. At what we have at Horde, and he stood there with some radioactive fluid in his backpack. Is really cool. It's going to be posted on our Twitter in a moment. And what I want you guys to do, to be part of a $300 giveaway, is just go onto the tweet and make a comment with hashtag whale AMA, and then we can pick one of you guys specifically, because no one else is going to know how to what hashtag to use. So just use hashtag whale AMA. Make a comment on there. Tell us what you think about the AMA. Tell us like your favorite faction. If you don't know what a faction is, go along to our Discord. You'll find all the details on our Twitter and everything anyway. So I'm gonna post this now in a moment.
Exciting.
So yeah, thanks a lot, guys, for that. And let's I don't know if you want to bring anyone up for any questions. I think we've definitely covered quite a bit of what we've got going on. As you can see, there's quite a lot. So when people ask us at the start to give a sort of elevator pitch, it's always really difficult, you know, because there's so much going on. And it's
Yeah,
painted in a
Tommy.
zombie theme, which throws people off massively as well.
Well, with that said, we certainly have a number of hands up, so I'm going to start calling on individuals. Let's go with Aisha first.
Thanks, Noah. So it's mentioned on your white paper that Liquidity Manager replicates a stable coin like strategy that uses buys and sells after being calculated in a complex algorithm and is able to dictate what range a token price can be restricted to. You also discussed about it. I want to understand, how does your complex algorithm work, and is it AI algorithm, and how this algorithm determines the range of the token price and restrict it? And can the range be altered manually?
So some of the questions I will answer, and some of it I don't, because we don't share the secret source. But I will. It's not an AI. It's and it is sort of predetermined from what you throw in, what will happen on the other side. But it's made through a long calculation, which is what an algorithm is, right? So that's what it basically is. And then there is a lot of different scenarios that's put in, so to prevent that, because if it was just that, then different things could make it fuck up, sort of say. And that's where all the testing have went in, and also where Certic have like agreed that it is not breakable as it is now. And to the other part of your question, in regards of it can be manually changed, we have changed it. It is manually. We have moved it up. We did that within the first month, and it have stayed where it is now since. And we don't plan to take it up. We do that if it suits the liquidity in the whole ecosystem, not just in the liquidity manager, and everything sort of fall into place and fits the numbers, then we can raise it. But it's not just something we do, because it's not meant to be a rocket token. It's meant to pay out a steady passive income. That's the idea here.
Understood. So moving to
Yeah,
my
and
next question. Sorry?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was thinking, who will be the target audience for Horde game? I mean, will it be for adults or kids will also be able to play it? And what will be PGI rating for your game?
I would say,
Teenage upwards.
yeah, 18 to 25 would be the main audience. Somewhere in that, maybe a little older, but not younger. People that are able to spend money on microtransactions.
Okay, got it. And on your white paper, it's also mentioned that there will be 4 different territories with multiple levels in each faction. I was thinking, how many total levels will be there in each faction, and will players be able to change their faction later in the game?
Very good question. And we haven't revealed the amount of different levels. All I will say is that they're going to have their own unique style when you're in each faction. Different weapons are also going to have their own different like looks, depending on different faction. And yes, you will be able to change your faction. It's not locked in. You can go in and change that anytime. You can choose a faction in the Discord as well. And again,
I think we might have had Tommy disconnect there. Let's give him a second
Yeah.
to join back up. Oh, meanwhile, I will ping him in the shared Whale Coin Talk Horde group chat. A moment. Very interesting project, though. Unique tokenomics, and I think the most fascinating component for me was the LMS, which I've seen similar mechanisms deployed in other projects, but nothing quite like this one, at least from my own anecdotal experience. What do you think about it, Acti? You always have good opinions on this stuff. Glenn, chime in if you're there.
It's certainly a lot. It's certainly a huge ecosystem, and the fact that everything is feeding back into each other in the way it's built, is definitely interesting. The fact that they can keep the price floor steady and all this. A lot of mechanics that you don't see every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
There we
guys.
go. Tommy back.
Disconnected. We're back.
No worries, brother.
So yeah, sorry. I hope we answered the question there. I forget where we were, but I just heard you talking about actually how we've got all these different income streams coming into, feeding it back to what we're doing. And this is exactly what we had planned from day one. But what we've been able to do is use our innovation and use our really dedication to taking it to where we want it to take it to. We've been able to bring new kinds of income streams during that journey as well. And as explained, yeah, we're only just getting underway, really.
Okay, understood. Thank you. Thank you for answering.
No problem. Thank you for your question.
Western Beast, you are up next.
Yeah, thanks, Noah. It's a great project. I mean, I'm going to circle back on your community. The fact that you have a really active community. It's actually a wonderful thing. You call it a die-hard community, and a die-hard community is actually so important for a project. I wanted asking, I saw on your soul paper that the massive fan base you have from your social media community, being from Telegram to Discord and Twitter. From your explanation, Horde has efficiently found ways to generate income aside from the buybacks and bonds, among other in-house means of generating income. Is income generated from your social media channels?
Is there any income from the social media channels? Was the question. Sorry, it's really quiet. I don't know if it's just for us, but no, we don't create any revenue from the social media channels. That's really just how we engage with our community.
Okay, all right. So here's my next question. I still saw on your soul paper the concept of plot ownership. I mean, you've made mention of it a few times. Can you give us an overview of these Discord rules? Because I saw on the soul paper that when a plot owner verifies ownership, they can participate in whole treasury polls which detect where all the funds will be invested. My first question on this is that what are the requirements that an investor will have to meet before he or she can be eligible for a Discord role consideration?
We're having some difficulty hearing. Could you just repeat the last bit of the question?
Okay, am I audible now?
Yes, that's much better. Thank you.
All right, all right. So I was talking about the plot ownership, and I was asking to give me an overview of the Discord rules I saw on your soul paper, because I saw that when a plot owner verifies ownership, they can participate
Yes.
in hot treasury polls which detect
Yes.
where all the funds will be invested. And I'm asking, what requirements will an investor have to meet before he or she can be eligible for a Discord role consideration so that he can participate
Perfect.
in this
Yeah, great question. So yeah, literally any plot owner, which also includes souls and runes, can be verified and take part in in Treasury investments. For now, our Treasury, we're happy where we are. As mentioned, we've got some great blue chips, slowly DCA into the market, and we've also got amazing profits coming through from the trading bot. So right now we're really good there. But as we grow, as we expand, there'll be more different kinds of votes into token, really what our community say and what they suggest. So if any suggestions from anyone comes along, we always read everything, and we always take into account what we think is best for not just us, not just the community, but the protocol and the long-term vision sort of playing out. Hope that answers cool.
Yeah, I think it's understandable now. The trading bot is actually where my next question comes from, because I saw on the paper that somehow you secured your treasury by having access to this expert trading bot, which generates 20% per month, which flows directly back into Hold liquidity. Was this profit trading bot developed by your team, or was it developed by a third-party dev?
No comment. It's under NDA.
Yeah.
We are fortunate enough to have some, great contacts in the industry, and we've just got, we've got participation in a great trading bot that's very fruitful for us.
The
That's
deal
about
is
all we can say.
yeah, the deal is very simple. If we tell any information about it, we don't have access to it anymore. We will simply get our funds sent back, and we can't use it anymore. So and no one in the community is interested in that, and that's why we keep it close to hand, because we don't really want to break that NDA. It's performing very well and consistent, and it shows by the injection we makes. And it's not I think 2 months down the line we would have gained more than we have put in revenue for it. So it's like it proved itself, and again, that's the Lindy effect, right? When something proves itself long enough, uh, it sort of shows what it's worth, and that's how we use it. We haven't injected more than we the community have been willing to, and we're not willing to do any investments into it without asking the community
Yeah,
due to those factors.
Yeah, as we always do as well.
I can completely understand the NDA aspect. I mean, these kind of trading bots are actually hard to find these days. So if the deal is broken or the contract is renounced, it's really going to backfire on the project. Those will be all the questions I have for now. It's a really wonderful project. I hope it's hoping to ape in sometime. I really wish you guys the best, and I hope you stay bullish moonward. Over to you now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for kind words, and thank you guys for the amazing questions. Really high level questions here tonight, and I'm really enjoying it. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tommy. Thank you, Western, for the great questions. Aisha, you as well. Next up, we have Sayed.
Yeah, thank you, Noah. Okay, so from your white paper, I came to know that for your pre-sale, Horde token were available, which could only be
Yes.
swapped for plots rather than for trading purposes. So can you
Yes.
explain why did you decide to do so, and was this for main reason to prevent the dump after the
Correct.
pre-sale?
Yeah, exactly.
Simple. Yeah. So what we saw, a simple, problem that happened in some projects that we saw that didn't like have a sort of mechanism put in place like that. It's quite simple. Like, people will make X amount on the token value going up, dump the whole tokens, and then end up like failing the project before it's even had the chance to get underway.
Yeah.
So by just giving early investors the opportunity, saying, look, come along, we're going to offer a plot for Horde. Originally were $500, and that was for one plot. So I suppose effectively you could say it was half price.
Yeah, but that
But
I actually want to touch that
Yeah.
because it wasn't half price.
No.
Because 20% of the distribution goes to the Horde pool, which is the team and marketing and acquiring new devs and all that. But in the beginning, we didn't have a lot of those things. So in reality, it was the 20% to the Horde pool and the 20% to the Treasury that went, if you could say it in quotation, that they didn't pay to, but the 500 they did pay went into the protocol anyway, which means that in reality it was like 10% less
Yeah.
than what everyone else have paid to the reward pool to the ecosystem.
And we put a big limit on there as well. There was only 1,500.
Yeah.
We did sell out in 28 minutes.
Yeah, 750,000 raised in 28 minutes, and you had to buy them for one for each wallet. You couldn't buy multiple, so it was 1,500 individual wallets buying them.
Okay, okay, got it. So I was also thinking that were only the sole plot holders be able to mint the scene NFTs, or everyone were able to mint these NFTs regardless being owner of the plot?
Yeah, so anyone can mint NFT scenes. However, we have sold out. We only have 500. We released 500 church squares, 500 search and rescues, and 500 wasteland cabins, all at different rates with different percent boosts, different types of utilities. But the church square is actually sold out, which is the higher end one, the 7.5 token one. But there will be a small batch of them coming. We just announced that. So in the coming weeks, there'll be a small batch of them released because it's just been by popular demand. And the reason why they sold out so quickly was actually we released something called an Uber plot. An Uber plot was something that was a cool idea. Again, another organic idea that came from a community, which was like, hey, what else? Like, people were asking, like, if there was a bigger plot, if there was bigger plots coming. So we just, like, put our ideas together and we came up with Uber plot. So if you own all the 3 NFTs, you can also create a 15 token plot. Now these are like limited, and that means that once you use one of the NFT scenes in order to make a Uber plot, you can't make them again. So not everyone can make one of them, but it's just a really cool little adaptation that we done. Let me explain one thing about the NFT scenes. When you attach it to a plot, they don't decay when the plot decays. You would detach it and then you could attach it to another plot. They are for lifetime. And then they're going to have these other utilities as well. But this is something commonly misunderstood, is that if you attach it to a plot and then they'll disappear with a plot. Not at all. Not like that at all. So yeah, they're really cool to see. And we've got a lot of ideas and a lot of stuff coming with NFTs. So just just keep posted and keep an eye on what we're doing with them.
Okay, thank you for clearing that up. Okay, I've read on your website that the owners will not be able to sell all their NFTs. So I want to know that will owners be able to sell their plot NFTs which are decaying, or they can only sell the scene NFTs? How will that work?
You can sell. Sorry, the question was, can you sell the NFT? The NFTs you can sell on third-party sites like NFT Trade.
Yeah, the plots itself is not an NFT.
Yes, that's where the misunderstanding was. The plot itself, when you buy a plot, it's not an NFT. What's an NFT is an NFT scene, like the church square or search and rescue or wasteland cabin. They're NFTs that you can attach to your plot, but a plot itself is not tradable. What happens is once you use the 10 or the 5 or the 1 token to create a plot, a stone or a rune, them tokens are used to create the plot, and then every 6 hours from then onwards, for the amount of decay days that lasts, you'll be getting paid rewards. So they're not sellable, but it's the NFT scenes what are sellable. I hope that clears that up.
Okay, got it. Thank you for clearing that up. I had other question as well, but running short on time. So over to you, Noah.
Thank you, Sayed. Benes, you're next.
Okay, thanks, Noah. So, if I have a couple of the questions to ask from Tommy. So, if I understood it right, as you mentioned about a plot booster NFT. So, if someone has a plot booster NFT, will it be possible for them to be like, say, one of the first 1,000 for the new exclusive NFTs you guys launch, right?
Unfortunately, that's over now. So we actually have already closed that now. So for the first 1,000 NFT scenes that were minted, they're going to get exclusive access. They're not going to get a big amount of extra time, but they're going to get more time in order to get into our new exclusive NFT projects we've got coming up. But let's not touch too much on that. But because like it's not available anymore, unfortunately. But we do always look at ways of giving back to the community like this way, you know.
Okay, one last thing about this one. I was wondering if someone had that NFT and didn't realize that how much valuable it was and decide to sell it. So does the person who bought it off the secondary market got the spot for the exclusive NFT since they'll have the NFT in their wallet?
It will be the original mint address. So no, it won't be a case of you can buy an NFT back if it was number, under 1,000. Let's say, for example, it will be the original mint address. Unfortunately, but I like your thinking there. I actually had someone else ask me the question as well, which is a really valid question. So again, thanks to everyone for your great questions.
Okay, and I was wondering for the gameplay, will it be possible to choose the character type in PvP mode, like the battle take place between a player controlling
Yes.
zombies to fight and the player has normal characters to defend his plot? So will
Yeah,
it
I
work
mean,
like this way?
so more details will come about the game, but yeah, for sure, the characters in the game are going to be really exciting. Um, it's something that, well, in fact, I didn't tell everyone, sorry, that we posted the tweet, and in fact, let me come back. I was just posting it as we had the disconnection problems. So I'm going to go in the whale coin talk now, and this brings us back nicely. So thanks for this question. On the I can't actually post a message in the Wellcorn Talk group just now. Just as soon as we finish, I'm going to post a tweet. But you'll see on our Twitter, we've actually leaked a concept art of one of our character heroes, a spreader, and you see his radioactive fluid on his back. Really cool character, and this just represents one of the characters from one of the factions. So we're going to have multiple different characters, and with different upgradable skins, different weapons. They in fact are going to be able to run around the actual maps, and then you're going to be able to set traps and do upgrades on towers, etc. It's going to be a really cool game, like I say, and there's going to be a lot of player versus player sort of participation going on. We're going to have some really cool competitions, some live rounds of Horde. We've got some great plans for that. And again, this comes into a real vision we've got of trying to bring people in from different corners of the digital world, let's say.
Okay, understood. That's really great, and you guys are really doing great work. And I like zombies, and everything you guys have is really awesome. So thank you so much for answering my questions as well.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you, Dennis. We're a bit over time, but I've guys, I know that you want to ask, so one question each from Chrisella first, and then I'll call you Nathaniel after him. Chrisella?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Nathaniel, go for it.
My question is actually on your liquidity mining ratio. How do you intend to balance your liquidity ratio?
How do we balance it? So it's a good question. How we do it at Horde suits our tokenomics, suits our project and what we do. Liquidity managers that we've built for other projects, for example, they're balanced in different ways depending on how their setup is. So it's a really difficult question to answer. But for us, if you just go back to the start and look at how we balanced it, we put 600k into the liquidity manager, 110k into liquidity pair, and with that, we were able to continue to build from there to, you know, like we're currently sitting at 1.8 million in liquidity manager plus a treasury plus a even greater liquidity pair. So we've been able to do that with our balance of what we've used, and that's managed to maintain $100 average price. So if you think of that with 600 and 100 to be able to balance like $100 price, you could do that on a scale as well. So if a project with smaller liquidity come along and wanted to have a smaller token value, you know, they could then scale down and you know, have a different balance there. I hope that answers it. But why it's really difficult for me, I see each liquidity manager as sort of like a living, breathing machine, right? And they all have to be balanced differently, dependent on what the project and what the protocol and what that separate ecosystem needs. And that just comes down to the team, you know, using it and how they're going to integrate that. I hope that gives you some kind of insight, at least, anyway.
Thank you, Tommy. Chrisella, you are the last question of the AMA, my friend. Hello, Chrisella. Ready?
We've got one more from Josh Winks.
Yep, Josh. Let's get you, Josh, and then we're gonna wrap.
And then we've done them. I always like to do this. I always like to clear out the questions and not leave any stones unturned. Pun intended.
Let's get it, Josh. Josh, we're having difficulty hearing you.
Okay, so my question, can I go ahead?
Yes.
Okay, my question is, I would like to know what are your major targets, like what are your future plans? Are you like focusing on the market or trying to build your community base or trying to get more partners? And also, what are your main priorities?
Yeah,
Hello?
I suppose building on what we've done already is the main goal. As we mentioned before, you always have to start with a solid foundation of where you build stuff from, and then through the sort of dedication, hard work of all the team members and all the community members as well, we've been able to expand on different projects that we've integrated into LMS, different partners we've made along the way, you know, reached out to different communities, exposed ourselves in that way, gave ourselves more exposure to different sectors of the crypto world. We've managed to implement different things like staking, different things like NFTs. We've really give everything a real our own sort of aspect, our own sort of approach on it. And that just comes down to like where we're going with it is that once we sort of get to a stage of you know, for me, where we've got the game released and we're able to show off like the actual, you know, the thing that we've been working on so long for, and show everyone how it's all sort of pieced together. And then we have like our own decks and we have all these different integrations and all these different sectors. That for me is when people will see this big sort of working machine and the vision come together. I think until that, the zombie theme throws everyone off. Like I said before, it's so funny. But that's again how we keep everyone engaged with cool you know, branding, with linking this to a fun play to earn game, and just to incorporate all in one place to make it nice and easy for people.
Fantastic. Well, Tommy, Horde team, I want to thank you all so much for being with us today. Really enjoyed talking to you all. Audience members, if you want to know more about them, join their Discord, engage with their Twitter. They're at horde.games as well. But again, check out their entire ecosystem. And gentlemen, before we go, for people that are just tuning in, give us a quick summary, high-level overview, who you guys are and what you guys are building in the space right now.
So yeah, we are the Horde team. We want to first off thank you to everyone in this great community, and thank you to you guys for hosting us today to talk about our rewards protocol that has been built on reputation. And what I mean is that we have set our success by proving ourselves. We launched in a very saturated space at a very tough time. We launched at the start of mid-March. And since then, we've had terrible turmoil times, but through different innovations we've got in our ecosystem, including our infamous liquidity manager that keeps our price stable, we've been able to pay out over $14 million worth of tokens that, you know, it's just been really life-changing for a lot of people, what people said in our community. And this is just the start of what we've got going on. As explained before earlier, it's really difficult to put it all in a few words, but come along to our Discord. We're always there to answer questions. Please recap this AMA and come along and take part. And there is a giveaway on Twitter. So anyone that just joined, go to our Twitter at Horde Tweets, and there's a giveaway just for you guys here. You'll see a leaked character, the spreader from the Nuclear Order, and anyone that's asking, they'll be like, "What's Nuclear Order?" We'll come and find out. The Discord link's there. Retweet, put a comment, and use the hashtag. What did I say? Whale AMA, and then we can choose some winners for $300 prize. Thank you so much, everyone, for having us today, and really appreciate, as mentioned, the high level questions. It really goes to show what a great community you've got here, and we hope to see some of you come along to our Discord and ask some more questions. So yeah, come along.
Thank you, Tommy, and thank you, Whale Coin Talk community. That was the Horde ecosystem. Remember, audience members, everything that you hear on Whale Coin Talk is for educational purposes only. We never give financial advice, so always do your own research. Acti is going to come in for a quick spin, and we're going to close things down. See you all tomorrow.
Right, yeah, I got the wheel up here. We'll do 2 prizes. Let me shuffle it here for everyone. 250 BUSD prizes, and I'll collect your IDs and we'll DM you afterwards for your wallet, and we'll send over the prize. And as always, we still have the chat locked, guys. So if you heard something interesting, if you want to learn more, if you want to engage a little bit more, all the official links are right there in our main chat. Don't get lost along the way. And yeah, if you still have questions, I'm sure there's always somebody there to take you up on it. And I want to thank the team from Horde for being here with us today. It's really been an amazing AMA, a lot of information here, and a little bit of insight, a little bit of alpha there with the shares, with the art.
We
and
always
everything.
like to leak the alpha. We always like to do that.
It's everybody loves it. Everybody loves it. So yeah, I really appreciate you guys for coming on. So thank you for taking the time, and thank you, audience member, for participating. And yeah, thank you, Horde, thank you, Tommy, guys. This has really been a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man, and appreciate for everyone coming along. So we'll see you next time.
What was it?
Yeah.